Hey everyone, this is Leo Bond back once again for the Best Buy Canada plug-in blog, and today I've got another one of these amazing radio-controlled trucks to review. This time it's the Traxxas Rustler, which is a 1/10 scale, let's call it a racing monster truck. You know, it's got elements of a racer. It sort of looks like a stock car, so that's the sort of the racing side of things. But it's also got the big monster truck tires. And anyway, there's really a whole lot to say about this one, so I won't necessarily cover every last detail. Otherwise, the video would go on for about 45 minutes or so. But I will try to hit all of the major highlights, and I'm going to show you a lot of driving footage as well on all sorts of different surfaces. And I'll definitely let you know by the end of the video what I thought of the Rustler. So let's get started. Now, the first thing I'd like to do is quickly run down some of the major features and specifications of this particular model, and most important among them, at least I think for many people, will be the Rustler's speed capabilities, which are certainly quite impressive. This truck can actually drive at a top speed of up to 56 kilometers an hour, so roughly 35 miles per hour, and it seems to perform best on flat paved surfaces, but more on that later. So, to control the Rustler, there's a TQ, meaning top qualifier, 2.4 gigahertz radio transmitter, which requires 4 AA batteries to work, and somewhat surprisingly, these batteries are not included with the set here, and I'm only surprised really because the smaller Traxxas vehicles that I've been testing lately do include transmitter batteries. Anyway, the transmitter provides solid long-range control and excellent handling or response, though I think that is somewhat dependent on the surface that you're driving on. Now, the Rustler also has fully waterproof electronics for all weather, anytime driving, and it's powered by a 7-cell NIMH 3000 mAh Traxxas ID battery that's charged via an included 4-amp DC fast charger. So pretty standard Traxxas equipment there. They always seem to have the chargers that plug directly into the car cigarette lighter type outlets. It would be awesome if they just had something that could plug directly into an ordinary wall outlet, but no such luck, I guess. Anyway, at least it only takes a little while to charge, and while I didn't specifically time it myself, it was definitely well within an hour, and for the effort that you put out, you'll get about 10 to 15 minutes of total running time. At least that's what Traxxas claims in the paperwork, and I did find it to be true during my testing. Now, I mentioned that the Rustler seems to run best on a flat, paved surface, and at least that's where it worked out best for me, although I don't have access to a proper RC racetrack, so I can't really speak for all scenarios. However, when I tried to run it on a very rocky surface, where the average rock was about the size of a golf ball, it just started bouncing all over the place, and I actually had a couple of really big wrecks out there as well, so I only tried that for a couple of minutes and then had to move on to find another surface. So then I went and tried out a nice grassy area, and what I found there was that my traction just wasn't anywhere near as good as it was on pavement. So if I wanted, for example, to do a bit of a sharp turn or to drive around in a circle, I couldn't really do it very tight at higher speeds. I had to either slow down to keep the turn tight or do this huge sprawling turn that made it feel like either the Rustler was experiencing significant understeer or that it just couldn't get a firm grip on the grass underneath it. Finally, I hit it out to the surface that probably comes in second place overall to pavement for driving the Rustler on, and this was a local loose gravel park that I always like to take these things to, where I really was able to get a lot of nice spins and donuts and whatnot, just throwing dirt up everywhere. It was really a whole lot of fun. Still though, I found that the Rustler's steering control was far superior on pavement overall than on loose gravel or any other surface. Even so, it was a whole lot of fun to see that dirt fly. Now, one very interesting thing about the Rustler is that it's got different tires in the front than what it's got in the back. So the front tires, they kind of remind me of those racing slicks that you see in open wheel racing, although they're not quite that slick really. They've actually got these grooves in them. They're fairly wide grooves, 6 or 7 of them, and so that they're kind of ribbed from front to back. And the rear tires are full of all these little nubs, which I suspect provide a whole lot of extra traction. After all, the rear tires are the driving tires on this vehicle, as it's a 2-wheel drive truck. Of course, the Rustler also has that tough, flexible outer shell or body that we've come to expect from all Traxxas RC vehicles, and it's got a very nice, primarily red and black color scheme as well, with just a little bit of orange, white, and gray thrown in for good measure, and it just looks very, very cool, whether it's sitting on a shelf for display or outside tearing across an open lot. So, a few other features of the Rustler that I'd just like to quickly get in here include its excellent four-wheel independent suspension system, which of course features those high-quality oil-filled shocks and very strong coil springs that I'm getting really used to seeing from Traxxas. And the Rustler also has a Titan 12-turn 550 modified motor, which I'll just show a quick shot of here. It's a very powerful little motor, and of course it's the reason that the Rustler can reach such impressive speeds. Now, the transmission in this vehicle has hardened steel gears, which are very robust and durable, and there's even a patent-pending piece of technology here called the RevoSpec Torque Control Slipper, which is meant to provide consistent traction control. And I know that I certainly found the Rustler's traction to be absolutely superb when running on pavement. And I think that's where we'll wrap things up for now, but not without first quickly showing you a photo of some of the extra bits and pieces that do come in box with this thing. For example, there's a sticker sheet for customizing your truck's exterior, and there's a little tool set that you can use to fix a variety of different problems and issues, or to do upgrades and modifications if you like. And of course, there's even some extra cotter pins which are bound to come in handy as well, not to mention several other little things, mostly spare parts, that may eventually prove useful. As for a final verdict, well, I do like the Rustler an awful lot, and I don't really think that you can go wrong in picking one up. Of course, the recommended age range for this is 14 years and up, and just remember that my findings are based on a fairly limited testing time, so I do encourage you to do your research, seek out the advice of true RC experts, and you're sure to make a happy choice. After all, there are several different Traxxas vehicles to choose from, and you really want to get the one that is right for you at whatever stage of the hobby that you're currently in, so whether that's beginner or advanced or whatever. Now, if you'd like some additional information on the Traxxas Rustler, you can always check out my complete written review at the Best Buy Canada plug-in blog. There's usually a few different details between the written and the video versions of my reviews, so do go ahead and check that out. And until next time, this is Leo Bond signing off and saying thanks everyone for watching, and have an excellent day.